Okay. So this fancy Manchi looking document, it kind of looks like it came from the 1800s. This is the executive order number 47.3, which is from the New York State Governor Kathy Hochul. So I don't think we need to read everything. I think we'll go over the very meaty parts of it just to give you an idea of what she put in her executive order. So, declaring a disaster emergency in the state of New York and ordering into active service the New York National Guard to assist authorities in guaranteeing public property at various correctional facilities. Whereas on February 19th, 2025, I issued Executive Order 47 declaring a state disaster emergency in the state of New York arising from an illegal and unlawful strike by correction officers that began on February 17th. Whereas New York State Civil Service Law, Section 210, known as the Taylor Law, strictly prohibits strikes by public employees and deems any such strike illegal. This prohibition safeguards the continuity of vital public services and upholds public trust in government operations. Those correction officers participating in this strike are willfully violating New York state law as well as a temporary restraining order of the Supreme Court of the state of New York issued on February 19th, 2025. Whereas New York State is committed to the fair and merit based hiring of public employees and to ensuring that all individuals appointed to state service uphold the law and their oath of public service. Individuals participating in illegal strikes have willfully violated the Taylor Law and an order of the Supreme Court of the state of New York by engaging in misconduct that undermines the public trust, demonstrates disregard for the law, disrupts public services, and is inconsistent with suitability for public service roles. And whereas it is therefore necessary to establish a state policy barring the hiring of individuals participating in this illegal and unlawful strike and recommending their separation from state service to be reported as a removal for cause, consistent with state law and applicable regulations. So here is where she puts down specifically uh, the policy barring those individuals from state employment. Let's continue on. Now, therefore, I, Kathy Hochul, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and laws of the state of New York, do hereby direct as follows. The Department of Corrections and Community Supervision shall, upon the separation of any employee, immediately investigate such employee's involvement in the illegal and unlawful strike pursuant to Executive Law 845 2B and 9 NYCRR 6056, promptly report to the New York State Central Registry of Police and Peace Officers maintained by the Division of Criminal Justice Services the separation from service of any individual employed by the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision as a peace officer who's found to have participated in the illegal and unlawful strike as a removal for cause. Report any employee who is found to have participated in the illegal and unlawful strike to the Office of Employee Relations. So here we have Kathy Hochul saying, Department of Corrections, this is what you shall do. You will notify the Office of Employee Relations, any individuals who participated in the strike. So there's a sort of like a mandated reporter to alert the Office of Employee Relations. Continuing on, all New York State agencies shall, as a part of their process to determine if an applicant is eligible to be hired, determine whether an applicant was previously employed by the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision, and therefore separated from such employment in connection with such applicant's participation in the illegal and unlawful strike. So what this piece is saying is that if all state agencies shall have a process of determining whether they're hiring someone who was a former CEO and if they participated in this illegal strike. Continuing on, all New York State agencies shall, as part of any background investigation, determine whether the individual being investigated was previously employed by docs and therefore separated from such employment in connection with such individuals' participation in the illegal and unlawful strike. So, what she's saying here is that in your background check process, you have to institute a piece that addresses the research and investigation as to whether the person came from docs and whether they took part in the illegal and unlawful strike. Continuing on, no New York State agency shall hire or appoint any individual who was previously employed by docs and therefore separated from such employment in connection with such individuals' participation in the illegal and unlawful strike. The prohibition applies to all appointments in the classified service of the state, as well as any hires in the unclassified service where civil service law provisions apply, and within 3 days of this directive, where applicable, the Office of Employee Relations, in consultation with the Department of Civil Service, shall issue guidance to all New York State agencies on how to integrate the above requirements into their hiring processes. So what this next piece is saying is that the Office of Employee Relations will work with the Department of Civil Service and they will issue guidance to state agencies on how they can implement this barring of those correction officers who striked. Okay. Further, by virtue of the authority vested in me by Section 29A of the Executive Law, I hereby extend and continue the suspensions and modifications continued in Executive Orders 47 through 47.2, and thereby temporarily suspend or modify the following laws for the period from the date of this executive order through April 9th, 2025. Okay, so I just want to stop it there. I don't want to go over these other portions of it, but this is the executive order. The most meatiest pieces are the pieces that we went over above. If you found value in this video, please consider joining and becoming a member. The first and second tier memberships are both less than the price of a Starbucks cup of coffee. It helps financially support the channel. If not, no worries. Feel free to like the video, comment on the video below, share the video, and if you feel that I've earned it, please subscribe to the channel. My goal is to give you honest and direct feedback and go deeper than what the mainstream media is telling and showing you. Take care, God bless, and see you next time.